Well, for more on this, we're now being joined by Samson Itodo, the Executive Director of Yiaga Africa. Very warm welcome to News Night.
Good evening.
The concerns are really mounting. Do you have any, feelings that the National Assembly may not work on the Return the Electoral Amendment Act bill?
I think what civil society has decided to do is to stay on the path of optimism, believing that the National Assembly, particularly the senators and the members of the House of Reps, who are representatives of the people, will heed to the call that Nigerians across different divides have made, that the only and the most important piece of legislation that should occupy the minds of our legislators when they resume tomorrow is the electoral bill. And it doesn't take a lot of effort. It's not significant of an issue that will take them months or weeks to resolve. Well, this can be resolved in one particular sitting, and it's just a clause which is contentious, and that's the direct primaries. In addition to the cross-referencing gaps and errors that we have identified in 4 sections. In fact, we've done the job of the National Assembly by identifying these and directing them to the particular section. So I think this is something they can do in one particular sitting, and that's why civil society have said, mindful of the whole legislative procedure, that this can be resolved in one sitting and the bill should be transmitted to the President by January 21st.
You talk about this inelegant errors that you just mentioned. Do you want to highlight some of them for us? And how realistic really is it that 48 hours will be enough to address, to quickly tackle the issue of the direct primaries clause and these other, inelegant errors that you discovered?
So what we expect will happen tomorrow, if this issue is not on the order paper, because I have seen the notice paper for the House of Reps and this issue is not mentioned. Usually you have, because the leadership read the communication from the President on the day they were proceeding on the recess. What we expect is that when they resume tomorrow, they will debate the communication from the President, and one of them is on this bill. So it will come as a motion of urgent national importance. So they will debate and resolve. And what they need to do is on that clause, section 87, is to just retain what's the current provision in the law, which is you leave the parties that candidate nomination shall be by what? By direct or indirect primaries. So you just amend that particular provision. If you look at the cross-referencing gaps, you look at clause 50, and that clause 50 is the clause that deals with the procedure for voting and the transmission of results. Whereas subsection 2 of that section refers to section 63 of the bill. Section 63 has no correlation with section 50. It was meant to be section 60, because section 60 of the bill deals with the procedure for the collation and transmission of results. So all they need to do is to look at the appropriate section and then reflect it in the section. So it doesn't take a lot to do.
Very quickly, let me add this. You had this very brilliant outing yesterday, and one of the issues that was raised is the issue of money politics as something that the National Assembly really needs to look at. Don't you think the National Assembly needs to be very thorough in dealing with that particular issue in a way that they would need more time than the 48 hours that you're recommending?
No, so the proposal, and just to be very clear, that what civil society and citizens have demanded, that given that we are 398 days to the 2023 elections, the bill in its current state contains amendments and innovations that will enhance the quality of the process. Conclude this process, because if you're going to introduce another legislation, it will take a reenactment of the bill. But we don't have time. The bill, as we have as at today, with without the gaps, direct primaries.
Yes.
It's a very fantastic bill that Nigerians should support. So let's conclude this process. If there is need for further amendments, then another legislative process can commence. But for now, as far as we're concerned, this bill reflects the will of the people. But on issue around money politics, it's going to take a lot. You need strict campaign finance legislations. But then, if democracy does not deliver to the people, if you continuously have poverty and politicians weaponize poverty against the people, you're going to have money politics and a very commercialized process. And so to decommercialize our politics would require a bifurcated approach. Legislations can help, no doubt, but you've got to fix the political culture, and that's that do or die nature of politics, which seems to hold currency within our political landscape.
It must be expunged indeed, so that the youths, for example, can have their voices come to it,
and women and persons with disability as well.
and others, so that they can vote peacefully and not to be chased by gun-trotting thugs.
You can say that again.
Thank you so very much. Samson Itodo is the Executive Director, Yiaga Africa.